What's up, guys? Ash here, or Flaming Geek. This is actually probably my first video I'm going to post on this new channel that has absolutely nothing to do with movies or films. I wanted to discuss something very important. Um, this week in Canada, it's Mental Health Awareness Week, and it's a really important topic because mental health is highly stigmatized and it's very prevalent in our society, but there isn't not a lot of discussion about it simply because of how stigmatized it is, and it still is a relatively new field, and we're still touching base on the unknown, and there's a lot that we don't know about it. People who know me, I don't really like to talk about my own mental health. It's something I really like to keep separate out of my life. Only a few people close to me are aware of it. Like, not even my parents know. Um, just some really close people, and I guess the entire Quidditch team. When I made that reveal in Quidditch World Cup 7 back in, oh wow, that was 2 years ago. I'll be talking about depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. So a little bit of info about myself. I am a raging geek. I think in general I'm pretty friendly, but I'm very I let people know about like my fun side, but I don't talk to people a lot about the other side. I have made a few posts on Facebook just because I'm feeling a little bit more open about it, but it still is a very touchy topic for me. So I guess I'll start off with I think I first knew I had something going on there. Back when I was in grade 4, I used to have really bad anxiety to the point where I remember um, I would try to make up excuses to not go to school. Um, and the thing is, I don't suffer from social anxiety. I got diagnosed a couple of years ago with general anxiety disorder while I was in university. That sort of cleared up everything. I remember as a kid, like, arguing with my parents so I could get out of going to school. Um, but I did enjoy school. I actually enjoyed school a lot. I hated high school. High school is probably the only type of schooling that I actually generally hated. I loved university. And in my first year of university, I remember back in 2011, my home situation wasn't exactly in the best hands. My brother moved out, and that was really the circumstances in which he moved out that really impacted me negatively, and I sort of got ostracized from my extended family. I went into university, um, and it was a different experience. I moved away from home. I went to the University of Ottawa. And when I was applying for universities, I specifically chose universities that were far away from home as possible, because I needed that space. And so when I went for my first year of university, it was horrible. I almost wanted to leave. I made friends, which was great, but I didn't enroll in any sports or anything because I was like, okay, I need to focus on school. And as a result, I was focusing on school, but I also had a lot of time where I wasn't in school. And I'm the type of person who has to keep really active and do a lot of things. Otherwise, if my mind is given time to like reflect and catch up with itself, and that's when my depression gets bad. So my depression in my first year was really bad. I did a lot of self-abuse, and I remember there was one point where I didn't go to class for 2 weeks, and my friends, my science friends, one day texted me and they're like, "Where are you? Are you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And as a result, I don't think I would have made it through that first year without my friends, um, even though I kept pushing them really far away. And so I apologize to you guys, but thank you so much. I don't think I would have made it through. My grades suffered, and I wasn't doing well. I went from being like an A student to like a C minus student. But then second year university came up, and I enrolled in rowing. I was doing community rugby. And so like my day was very structured from like rowing at like 4 a.m. in the morning all the way up until like 10 p.m. at night. I always had something going on. And of course, my grades like skyrocketed back to the status that I was at. But I think it was because I didn't have enough time to think about it. And I started on the university's orders, I was going and getting counseling and stuff, which was hugely beneficial. And so on, and like third year got even better. I joined the Quidditch team, which changed my life. Play Quidditch. If you've never played Quidditch, it's an amazing sport. I met some amazing people, and I had like this cool like family and community backing me, and I came to know that like I wasn't the only one who was dealing with these things. And then fourth year was just as good, and then I had my first year off university last year, and things have kind of been going downhill since. So to get back to it, I suffer from depression, and caused by my anxiety disorder. And as a result, I also get panic attacks. So I'll just explain. My panic attacks for me, it didn't start happening until my third year of university. And I found that if I was able to get my adrenaline high enough, they would trigger my panic attack. Or if I was just, my anxiety was overwhelming me. So a panic attack for me, it feels like someone is literally sitting on my chest. My pupils dilate like crazy. And like it's really creepy because all of a sudden I can't really see properly, and it just feels like everyone's closing in on me. My depression looks like, it feels like someone is literally sitting on my chest. It's a very confined sensation. It's horrible. A lot of negative thoughts, like you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not intelligent, you're stupid, everybody sees you as an inconvenience, just a lot of negativity. And I feel it a lot when I interact with people. I find I'm always thinking like, what do they think of me? What do I look like right now? Like, I'm always thinking about what other people see of me. And especially when like I'm about to go to bed, it's horrible because like I kind of just like recap the day, and all of it just starts raging in, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? There's some days where I physically cannot get out of bed because it's so bad that literally my whole body feels like lead, and my chest, it literally feels like someone is just like sitting on my chest, and I can't breathe, and it's horrible. And my anxiety, it sort of has to do with, I found with time, I get very nervous very quickly, and it's sort of like if I'm on a schedule, or if something is due, or like just the air of the situation, if everyone's sitting down and we're all talking and I have to talk, I do get a little bit nervous, even though I love public speaking. It's so much fun. It's very difficult to explain my anxiety, but when it gets really bad, I lose full control. Like my arms shake a lot, and then I'll move on to a panic attack, and it's very painful. I do take medication for it, which has helped substantially. The reason why I'm doing this video is someone made a suggestion to me that I should do it, and I decided, okay, yeah, I'll add it onto my new channel, and I'll hopefully try to do this every Friday. But anyhow, I couldn't sleep. And so I went for a walk, and then I decided, oh my gosh, like I literally almost had a panic attack while I was doing a walk, thinking about doing this video later on the day. And I decided, okay, I'll do it now, even though it's like 12:52 in the morning. I'll do it now. So the Canadian Mental Health Association describes depression as, I had to write it down, grappling with feelings of severe despair over an extended period of time. So one of my biggest pet peeves is when literally I've tried to come clean to my parents and tell them about it, or other adults around me, and they're literally like, and I hate it when people tell you this, they're like, oh, you just need to stop watching those movies that are so like depressing, you need to just be happier, think about happy thoughts. Yes, because if I could just think about happy thoughts, I wouldn't be depressed. It would be so much easier if only it was that easy. That's not. It's over an extended period of time. And like for different people, it varies, which is why when they put you on antidepressants, it usually takes like 3 weeks minimum for it to start having an effect. And that's why a lot of like people who are the tendencies of committing suicide after going on antidepressants increases, because people have the capability to do so. And there's studies that back that. So for me, they run in like cycles of 3 months and stuff, and it's super hard. And it's not like you're down on the blues. It's not like one thing. When it happens, and I don't know how to describe it, but it's ridiculously hard. I could be depressed and still be able to go to work. I could be depressed and still be able to hang out with friends. I usually behave a little bit differently, and I try not to be negative. That's why I say I'm one of the best liars out there. I hate lying, but I lie every day, because I always act like I'm super happy when the majority of the time I'm not. I'm very upset, and I don't even know how to describe it, and it's hard not being able to confide in somebody with it. So second one, Canadian Mental Health Association describes anxiety as unexpected or unhelpful anxiety that seriously impacts your life. So how my anxiety impacts my life is there's some days where I can't even leave my room because like it is so bad that if I were to go outside, I'd literally lose my shit. There's some days where it happens at work, which is literally the worst. And I don't know, you feel like, all of a sudden it feels like everyone is like staring at you and everyone's like hyper aware. You become very hypersensitive to the whole environment around you. And I've gotten to the point where I'm so accustomed to it that I'm able to gauge it. And I know I have coping strategies, sort of like counting back from 10, listing a whole bunch of my favorite movies, strategies like that, which they were taught to me when I was going through counseling at university. So living with these, the hard part about it is most people go through this. Most Canadians go through depression, go through anxiety. Everyone usually does at some point. The incidence of anxiety and depression has increased substantially, but that could also be due to the fact that now they're more well known. People are a little more accepting of it, and people are feeling more confident going forward and getting help for it. But the sad thing is a lot of people don't get help for it. So I got asked a couple of days ago by a person who wanted me to do this video if I do self-injurious behaviors. Yes, I do. When they happen, it's literally when I'm at my worst. It's when I'm my most vulnerable. And when it happens, for me, it's sort of like an outer body experience. I do it and then I feel better about it. So like a good example was on my birthday this year, I got home and I was I had an anxiety attack and I was feeling very, very depressed, very vulnerable. And I went and I cut myself, and it's not something I'm proud of. Some people ask me that. They're like, "Oh, are you proud of it? Like, is that why you keep doing it? Because if you weren't proud of it, you wouldn't do it." Of course not. I'm not going around and like parading my arms and where I do it, like going around. Most people hide it. It's just a sense of relief. It sort of like feels like I have control, and it's very scary when you do it and look at it and you're like, wow, that looks very beautiful, when in reality it's not. Yeah, so I went and did it, and yeah, it was very hard because there was one day where I was out, and for some circumstances I had to take my hoodie off and leaving my arm fully exposed, and there were some fresh cut marks on it, and it was talking to an individual, and this individual literally, it was so obvious they were staring at my arm, and it really made me feel really uncomfortable because like, I don't want people staring at it, and I try my best to hide it. But it's seriously, it's like if someone had like a huge pimple on their face and you literally just like stare at them and you're like, oh my god, that pimple is huge. You make the person feel self-conscious, and it made me feel very uncomfortable, and like I wanted to get out of that situation, and I did eventually, and I went and I was very upset, and I needed a moment to calm down because I was like, oh my gosh, they saw my arm. It was very upsetting. Yeah, so I'd like to make it clear, I don't do it for attention seeking. I've been asked that. I don't do it for that reason. I do it because it makes me feel safe. And I know it's not a good thing. And when I did it, I felt guilty afterwards. The next day, I felt like complete shit. And I was like, why did I do that? And it's something I've been working on for years not to do it. And it doesn't, self-injurious behavior doesn't have to be like cutting yourself. It can be like intentionally bruising yourself, hitting yourself, anything like that. And yeah, I think mental health is very important because we all have it. This is your one brain and your one body that you will have until the day you die. And so it's really important that people take care of it, whether that is through getting help, confiding in those around you. Most workplaces have some sort of setup for you to go, whether if it's counseling or just discussion, to go get help. And I know it's super hard taking that first step because, like, for example, that birthday incident with me, I texted 2 of my friends because I felt horrible about doing it. And one of them texted me a whole bunch of psychologists in the Calgary region who could help me out. And I was like, well, yeah, I've been looking. And she was like, no, I know you've been looking, but you don't want to take that next step. And her words rang so true to me. I didn't talk to her. I didn't reply back to her until literally a couple of hours ago. And this is like 2 weeks later because I felt like it made me have to do like a self-reflection. I was like, oh my gosh, I did that. And the thing that sucks about mental health is a lot of places don't cover it. It's not covered under your health care. It depends where. But, and that's so unfortunate because it should be covered. It's something basic that we all have. Mental health is just as important as physical health. So if you have some sort of system in place, like, that would be great. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching my video. That was super hard for me to do. I had Natsu, for all you fairy tale people out there. I had Natsu channeling through me, my inner dragon slayer. Fire, dragon, roar! Great anime, by the way. I had to add some sort of like geek thing at the end of this video. So if you know someone who's struggling with depression, anxiety, or any type of mental health, please be there to help them out. Do not compare them to others. Do not belittle them. That's probably one of the most important things you can do. If the person comes out to you, or if you feel comfortable enough confronting the individual about it, please be kind to them. Please try to keep in mind that they might reject you. They might get upset over it because it is something difficult to admit to. Don't try to downplay whatever is going on with them because it's significant. Everything's significant. So that's all I have to say. If you guys have any comments, just post them down below. I've posted a few links if you're in Canada for where you can get maybe some mental health stuff. These phone lines are very convenient. I use them every once in a while, and they're very helpful. Yeah, so thanks for watching my video, and until next time, live long and prosper.